What often happens when we look at where our life is now, and if it's in such a pain point, we want to go from 0 to 1,000. What that does is just create more overwhelm because you're going to be really excited about it for 2 days. And then life is going to kick you in the butt and go, girl, you don't live by yourself. You have a 9-to-5 job. Maybe you're even in school. You have lots of other things. You cannot hyper focus on this thing like you are 18 to 20 years old with no people behind you. You have to look at the full scope of your life.
Welcome to We Ain't Normal. My name is Charmaine Fuller, and I'm an everyday mom sharing how I navigate my ADHD brain. Each week, we share tools, inspiration, and resources to help you uncover how to reclaim your time, energy, and focus. So thanks for hanging out with me today. Now on to our show. Are you looking to shut down some of the open tabs in your head? If you're a professional mom with ADHD like me, girl, I feel you. And this is why I created the Simplify My Life newsletter. The Simplify My Life newsletter shares real life tips, resources, and support to help you shut down the noise and navigate your ADHD life. Trust me, this is the one email you'll be looking forward to opening in your inbox. Join today at the link in the show notes below, and I'll see you there. Right. What's up, everybody? So welcome to the We Ain't Normal show live. Normally I do this in a room by myself, with myself, and just in my nice little quiet space. And normally I'm party on the top, pajamas on the bottom, but today I had to be fully dressed for y'all. So if you don't know anything about me, if this is your first time to my podcast, anything like that, I am a life strategist. So I'm basically a consultant that helps moms that have ADHD get all of the sticky notes out of their head. Whether you're a mom with ADHD or not, if you got a whole bunch of stuff going on in your head, I help you to take that out, make that clear space so you can have a clear plan moving forward. Because most of the ick that happens as a mom is that you have so many ideas in your head. You don't know where to start. You don't know what to do next because everything feels urgent and important and on fire at the same time. So this is to help you. This today will help you to take some of those pieces out and move through them so you can begin to create some more of that flow in your life without feeling like you need to do all the things at the same time. So a bit about me beyond how I serve. I'm a mom of 2. My personal assistant is here. I'm a wife of 1. I've been married for 23 years and we still like each other. So that is a perk. In the daytime, I work as a bookkeeper. At night, I transform into my super cape and I help moms with this here. I love doing this part of my life because it just feels like I'm able to transform and actually serve in a way that gives moms the space to know that they are not crazy for feeling how they feel and for knowing that what they're doing is probably team too much, but they don't know how to slow it down. So I always start my podcast off with a story because I like stories. I like to tell stories. So once upon a time, I was pissed off perpetually because it didn't feel like anybody was doing anything. Nobody would help me. I had to beg, cuss, scream, fight just to get somebody to do something I needed them to do. I had to repeat myself more times than I deemed necessary. And so what would happen was I would just say, F all y'all, I'm going to do it myself and I would get it done. But then what would happen is that I would get really super duper overwhelmed. And then I would blow the F up at everybody. And I would start throwing stuff and then I would go on strike. And so then everybody would go, okay, mama mad, let's get this together. And for 2 weeks, it would be blissful. Everybody would step in. They would help. They would go, hey, mom is really stressed out. Let's help mom. After I calmed down, they would go, well, she's good again. And they would leave me alone. And so there would be this cycle like every 90 days where I would get mad. My family would step in and they would, then I would calm down and then they would pull back. It was like this really painful cycle. So if you have ever been in that, you are not alone. There have been days in the shower where it was the weekend and I would go, if I just left my husband with the kids and just packed up and rolled off, they would miss me, but how would that feel? Like I would contemplate like just bouncing.
So how did I move from that to having a family where there is more communication, more flow? Is it perfect? No. Because if you follow me on social media, there are some days where I'm like, what is going on with this household? But the timing in which I felt really stressed out has now further and further in between any bouts. And so what I don't teach is perfection, because if you have kids, perfection is not even a word that should touch the essence of your vocabulary. What you're looking for is progress. Did you move versus it being every 90 days? Now, wow, every 6 months, you don't have to blow up. Like, wow, that is progress. Even if it goes from 3 months to 4 months. Okay, now we're starting to get progress. I teach progress. I teach grace. I teach you being able to have that flow. And that some months it's going to be great. Other months is going to be absolutely crazy. Like back to school time is absolutely crazy. I don't care how much I prepare. I don't care how many binders I get in order. I swear before all things holy, on the first day of school, I feel like a chicken with her head cut off. I can't find nothing. Can't nobody find nothing. Nobody. And my son is schooled at home. We can't find logins. We don't know where the laptop is that he's been playing all summer. Like all the stuff that I thought I prepared for is not prepared for. You know, ain't no groceries. Like, it's just like, wait a minute. I thought I was doing good. Like I was doing so well. So there are just seasons where your life is going to be crazier than normal. And so I want you to give yourself that grace that even if you block your time, your family got other plans sometimes. And sometimes you have to step in ways that you necessarily didn't anticipate. So what I had to do, and this was completely counterintuitive. This felt like somebody was taking my eyelashes out and like plucking them out one by one. I had to slow down. That feels like torture to a mom that has a to-do list of like at least easily 20 to 50 things a day on paper and in her head. Mainly it's in her head, but there's a list of things that have to be done. And for you to tell me to slow down, like, you don't know my life. Like, how am I supposed to slow? Where would you propose I slow down at? Where do you propose I find this 15 minutes that you're talking about for me to slow down and be clear? So I want to break it down like this. On your worksheets, if you're here, if you're not here, if you're live, if you sign up to my newsletter, when this episode drops live, then in the newsletter, I will be sending this out. Also, remember, if you live, I take this off tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So you want to get on the list so you can know when it comes out. Anywho, on the list, clarify, getting clear about what's going on now. One of the most counterintuitive things is for me to think about what's going on now. I just know it's going crazy, period. I know it's going crazy. I know it's overwhelming. That's what's going on now. But that's not what's really going on now. Because if you create a daily action plan based off of that, you're going to end up recreating more of the same. It's just going to be more stuff for you to do that is not taking you to where you want to go and that is not offering your life flow. So taking a look at your 4 major life areas. So there are about 8 to 9 life areas, depending on who you're talking to or what you want to do in your life. Family, marriage, love, relationships, money, business, or if you don't have a business, your career. Sometimes you have both. So that's why I say between 8 and 9, because sometimes you got your business life and your career life, your health, your learning things that you learn, your environment. And sometimes I break up family and to be family and then your friendships, because friendships are so important. Your community is so important. And so sometimes those are goals for women as well. We're not going to talk about all 9 today because you would be a deer in headlights and we ain't got time for that. So you're going to choose the top 3 to 4 that are the most important to you. It could be your health, but mainly it ends up being money, love, relationships, the kids, and your business or your career. Those tend to be like the top 4 that get touched on. And sometimes love relationships will get switched out for health. Because sometimes your love relationship with yourself or with your significant other is in a fabulous place and you want to focus on something else. So thinking of what those are. So here's for instance, let's talk. I always love talking about money. Money is my favorite thing in the world. So you look at your money right now where it is. And you ask yourself, am I making the amount of money I want to make? When is the last time I looked at my checkbook and my transactions? When is the last time I looked at the debt that I owe? or that the places, like, what is the last time I looked at the plans that I have? Like, is my vacation fund intact? Do I know what this $50 is? Like, do I need to research something? Do I know what this $50 transaction that came out of my account is? Those could be things that could, mean your money. And then, so you look at that and you rate it on a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being the absolute worst, 5 being the absolute best. Where do I feel my money is right now? So for the sake of this, let's say it's a 3. If it's a 3, then what do I need to do over the next 30 days to either take it to a 3.5, maybe a 4? Notice I didn't say take it to a 5. What often happens when we look at where our life is now, and if it's in such a pain point, we want to go from 0 to 1,000. What that does is just create more overwhelm, because you're going to be really excited about it for 2 days. And then life is going to kick you in the butt and go, girl, you don't live by yourself. You have a 9-to-5 job. Maybe you're even in school. You have lots of other things. You cannot hyper focus on this thing like you are 18 to 20 years old with no people behind you. You have to look at the full scope of your life. So the purpose of getting clear is not just to hyper focus on 3 to 4 things. It's just to get really clear about where that area of your life is now, so that when you begin to add plans to bump this up during the course of your day, or however you plan your day, that you're adding pieces of it in. You're not trying to do the whole thing. You are taking small, consistent actions to begin to build it up. Because if you think of your life like as a wheel, and let's say you're out of those 4 areas, let's say your love relationships is a 5, let's say your kids are a 3, let's say, what was the other one? Your career or your business, let's say that's like a 4. So you think of it as a wheel. The area that you would see if that money is a 3, your money and your kids are giving you the most trouble. Those are the areas you got to go back to and put out the most fires in. If you can't think of a score, think about where the areas in my life I have to keep going back and putting out fires. Is it, in the case of kids, is it every morning I want to get out the house at 7, but Kiki can't find her shoes every morning? So do I need to get a shoe tree to go in the front and then start teaching them how to put their shoes in the front so we can find them? Do I need to just put the shoes in the car every morning and let her go outside barefooted as long as it's not winter and put them on in the car? Like, what are some of the things I can start to put into place that will help me to have more flow? Because until that life area has more flow, no matter what you try to do in your other life areas, you're going to have to keep coming back to this one. So getting clear about what's going on now. It's not sexy, but it's necessary. You can take a weekend to do this if you so desire. Or you can sit in your bed at night and just go, what was my day like? Okay, what was that one area of my life today that I had to keep putting out fires in? Why is that? And just really digging into, well, why is that? Well, what do I think needs to be done so I can stop putting out fires? Because I have other stuff to do other than put out fires in this area of my life. So that is what the clarity section is all about. It's about really getting clear about what's going on in your life. So now when we move into, okay, so how do I keep this going? How do I make a system for this? One of the things that, I discovered, like when I was talking about my story with my family, is I had to simplify some stuff. I had to let go of some things. I had to let people do things and delegate and let them mess up and figure it out and not micromanage. I'm a micromanager. One of the things that my husband would tell me when he started doing like at one time he was doing the kitchen before the kids did, and he would clean it and I would go like back behind him and clean it. And he would go, I'm not even going to clean the kitchen no more. I'm like, why? He goes, you just going to come back behind me and re-clean it anyway. Are you going to come behind me and redo it? So why am I even trying? Why am I even trying? And I'm like, oh, snap. I'm a micromanager. I am a control freak. Okay, so if I say I'm in pain and I want somebody to help me, I have to let it go. And so that is what the next step, simplify, is about. It's not just about that. It's about energy leaks. What are the things that you are doing that as you think about that first step, clarity, what are those things that you are doing that just suck your energy dry? That suck it dry. One of the ones for me, and Mama, I love you. But one of the things for me is that, like when I first started on my entrepreneurial journey, It wasn't just her. It was like other friends. They would just call me randomly in the middle of the day. Like before I started going back to working a 9 to 5, I was just doing my business. So what are you doing? So did you see that show from last night? I'm trying to work. I'm really trying to make some stuff happen. But then you don't want to tell them like you don't. So Simplify is also about setting and applying boundaries. Not setting boundaries, because ladies, we are really good at setting a boundary. I can set a boundary, but let somebody come with me with them little cute brown circle eyes and go, but I can't do it myself. Or I really need your help. It's like, no, I'm not done yet. Like, you're going to have to come back. I would set, when he was younger, when his older brother was younger, I would set the microwave timer before I even knew about egg timers. I would set the timer on the microwave, and my older son would sit in front of the microwave, and like, he would just be waiting like to come and like talk and grab me. So setting and applying those boundaries, applying the boundary. Applying the boundary looks like doing something that you may deem is not nice. They'll be okay. If they love you, they'll let it go. They'll find another yes someplace else. Trust me. They'll be sad. They'll feel like it's personal for a little bit, but then they'll realize that it's not personal. And so applying that boundary is going to give you the freedom to go, if this was really a lot for me, if I had to keep putting out fires for you, that's not mine. Like, I don't do laundry anymore for kids. I don't wear those clothes. They're not my clothes. I don't care how you wash them. Just don't mix the whites with some stuff and put some bleach in it. That's like not the life you want. But I don't do laundry. I don't do my husband's laundry. I don't wear his clothes. I barely remember to do my own laundry. And and that's what made it easier for my husband to like, because he would be like, I could never find my stuff. Now he can wash it. He can blame it on himself. You know, taking away things that were draining your energy that did not belong to you. Are you the only person cleaning up dishes in the kitchen, but you're not the only person eating in the kitchen? Are you the only person cooking, but not the only person eating? So thinking of ways in which you can begin to simplify your life. What are some things you can delegate? What are some boundaries you need to set? What are some boundaries you need to set with yourself? One of my boundaries is I have 15 minutes on Instagram every 3 hours, 15 minutes. And then my phone the screen for Instagram will shut off. Now, if I'm feeling really froggy and I just want to be disobedient, then I shut that timer off. So I'm not perfect with it, but it helps me to stay cognizant of, I said I wanted to do something else. I know this little reel on Instagram or YouTube is really, really cute, but I said I wanted to grow my business. I said I wanted to help my child with their math, or I just wanted to take a nap and go walk outside, you know. So also applying boundaries for yourself. When you apply boundaries for yourself, the people around you will go, oh, snap, she's serious, because she's even following the things that she said for herself. Simplifying is not just about throwing things off and not doing the things that you don't want to do. It's about where your energy lies. A lot of people talk time management. Time ain't real. That's a whole nother conversation. But because we are within the constructs of it, what really affects your time is your energy. If you go into a thing and you're lethargic, you just don't feel like, that's something that is draining your energy. How can you get rid of that thing? Whether by delegating it to another family member or outsourcing it if you can. And nowadays, outsourcing is so much cheaper. Like, I've outsourced grocery shopping. Why? Because Kroger has the delivery thing, and I can go on my app and I can order my groceries and I can get them delivered to my door. I don't even have to go in the store anymore unless I want to get one thing and actually come out. I don't have to go into Target anymore. That has saved me so much money, because Target is like the casino. You go into Target and it's a wrap. Like, I didn't mean to spend $200. Like, I didn't. I knew I was supposed to save this money, but what had happened was these towels was on sale and I need new towels every time. So finding things that you can either outsource or delegate that are either low cost or just included in the cost of something that you already have. And there are so many of those things now with this digital AI world that allow us to not have to do all the things. I want you ladies, if your thing is, I can't have Kroger's or Instacart pick my groceries because I like for my stuff to look a certain way, release that. Their C+ is better than your A. And I want you to do that with your family as well. Their C+ is better than your A. Why? Because you didn't have to give A effort. And there are just some things that you should just let be. And it's okay. If it's not a life or death medical type of situation and they don't do it how you do it, be happy with that. Who cares? Let it go. That is simplified. Let it go, let it go, let it go, like Elsa. Just let it go. And even with yourself, don't look for perfection. Look for progress. That is it. Give yourself grace. If God can give us grace, we can give ourselves grace, ladies. We are so hard on ourselves. And especially when you are a Black woman. And I put on my Facebook page the other day, we need to have like a Black Excellence Anonymous group, because Black excellence is in the hustle culture. And so letting that go of always needing to have this clean and that perfect and that in place and this in place, like letting that go, because that, like, start thinking, is this thing that I want to be perfect, is it even mine, or is it something culturally or even from a familial type of space where this was told to me, but my mom did it because of this? Well, I don't have this issue anymore. I ain't got to do it like that. It could be done for me with even more ease. So just looking back, that's what Clarify is for as well. Looking at some of the stuff and go, is this mine or is this somebody else's paradigm that I'm carrying on? So that's the simplified portion. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and it freed you to see your life a bit differently. Make sure to check out those show notes in the description for a full rundown of today's episode with all the important links and resources. If you want weekly exclusive episodes with me personally, make sure to sign up for my Simplify My Life newsletter. I'd love to know what you enjoyed about this episode, so leave a review to let me know how I can continue to support you. So Mama, I want you to know, you're doing much better than you think. You're further than you believe, and you're worthy to have it all. So until next time, stay weird and keep doing you, babe. Coming up next time on the We Ain't Normal show. What is it that I need to do to make sure that my energy is preserved? Because if your energy is not preserved, no matter how much you want to serve your family, you're going to be pissed off and tired. That's the truth of it. You're going to be pissed off and tired, and you're not going to want to engage in any of that. Want more of this episode? Make sure your podcast notifications are on and you're a part of the We Ain't Normal family by going to thecharmedlife.show to get weekly podcast updates and notifications. I'll see you there.